Hello everyone, and today, in the same day when Ukrainian forces liberated a vast territory in the Kharkiv region within a week, I want to remind you about this significant event that has gone down in history as one of the best operations of the Ukrainian Armed Forces.
Головна площа Ізюма ще догорає приміщення місцевої адміністрації, навколо все зруйновано, але нічого, все відновимо, а Ізюм був, є і буде Україна. І все буде Україна. Вірте в ЗСУ. Україна! Путін! Бачите, отак місцеві зустрічають.
Unexpectedly, after the lull in the Volodar direction, reports started emerging yesterday about active Ukrainian Armed Forces movement with claims of global attacks. There are already reports that in Novodonetsk, which is in the gray zone, the Ukrainian Armed Forces made significant progress on the first day of their attacks and have occupied more advantageous positions. Unfortunately, the general staff is keeping their intrigue, and this information is currently being reported only by Ukrainian fighters and Russian war correspondents, so we await official information. For now, we know about initial tactical successes, and it appears that the Russian defense is starting to crack, although for the most part only tactical battles are ongoing. Today, we can see that the Ukrainian Armed Forces are actively expanding the area of combat operations. But before we continue, I kindly ask you to share this video on social media and watch it to the end. It will greatly help promote my channel. Thank you. However, the occupiers continue to deploy their equipment. A new video confirming the transportation of upgraded T-80 tanks on trailers in the direction of Berdyansk emerged yesterday. Engineer vehicles are accompanying them. This signifies a clear reinforcement from one section of the front to another, as reported by the advisor to the mayor of Mariupol. In the Zaporizhia direction, there is no news about a major assault, but there are successes in the Kamiansk area. They have managed to gain control over another Russian position. It is also known that tactical battles are ongoing in the Verbove area with reported successes. Experts suggest that the main offensive this autumn is most likely to be in the Zaporizhia direction. Although active attacks have begun in the Vuhledar area today, for some reason the possibility of a breakthrough in the Lugansk direction is being discounted. Currently, the majority of Russian forces are concentrated in the south of Ukraine. And what are your thoughts on this matter? Be sure to leave your opinion in the comments. Additionally, Ukraine has achieved a new breakthrough near Robotyne. Ukrainian forces have expanded the breach in Russian defenses along the so-called Surovikin line near Robotyne in the Zaporizhia region. Meanwhile, in the Kherson direction, shelling continues. Interestingly, while the occupiers previously complained about the Ukrainian forces advancing on the left bank, today there is complete silence and no new attacks are reported. In the Kupiansk direction, the Russian grouping consisted of approximately 200,000 personnel, and they were preparing for offensive actions. However, as of today, this grouping has been partially dispersed. According to the latest information, at least one division of occupiers has been redeployed to the Zaporizhia direction. Additionally, some of their forces have been destroyed due to successful shelling by our units. As a result, there is currently no significant activity in this area. All the occupiers can do is engage in shelling. Moreover, according to recent reports, the Ukrainian forces have managed to advance by 200 meters in the Sinkivka area, while the occupiers seem to have completed their advance towards Kupiansk. In the Svatove area, the Ukrainian forces have successfully thwarted all attempts by the Russians to advance in the Novoyegorivka area. Consequently, today we see no offensive actions, and even the number of shelling incidents has decreased. Therefore, the situation here has stabilized. In the Kremina and Siversk areas, the occupiers continue to engage in heavy shelling. Today, the territory around Siversk resembles the situation in Bakhmut, two flanks and a city they have been unable to capture for a while now. So, after failed attacks, they continue shelling and they still have plans to advance and strengthen their front line. In turn, the Ukrainian Armed Forces may strike a decisive blow here. Many of the Russian forces are concentrated on the southern fronts because the front line in the Kremina area lacks such massive fortifications. At least that's what the maps indicate. So there is a chance for a successful counteroffensive as happened last year. Therefore, we await how events will unfold further. In the Bakhmut direction, complex battles are ongoing from Klishchiivka to Azaryanivka. There aren't any major assaults taking place here, but tactical battles and shelling continue. Currently, the front line remains unchanged, and the Ukrainian armed forces continue to destroy Russian formations. This is why the Russians have decided to conduct mobilization urgently to ensure that the front doesn't run out of reserves. In the Avdiivka direction, the Ukrainian armed forces have achieved success, and mainly there are only shelling incidents around Avdiivka and the vicinity. However, offensive actions have ceased after a significant setback in the Severny area. To the south, shelling is ongoing, and as of now, the General Staff hasn't reported any new attacks on the outskirts of Marinka. Experts claim that the Ukrainian armed forces have lost a few positions in the ruins that remain from residential buildings, but this information is yet to be confirmed, so we await for updates. On September 6th, as a result of a combined air attack by Russia, fires broke out in the Fastiv and Bucha districts of the Kyiv region. Rescue workers operated in the areas affected by shelling in the Izmail district of the Odessa region. Unfortunately, there was a casualty, an employee of one of the enterprise. The units of the State Emergency Service promptly extinguished the fires. But Russian military bloggers claimed on September 4th and 5th that Russian counter-battery systems were not performing well on the front lines in Ukraine. They asserted that Russian forces heavily relied on drones like the Lancet and 122mm shells for multiple launch rocket systems, the quantity of which was limited. One Russian military blogger noted that the Russian Ministry of Defense's plans to create 5 new artillery brigades in each of the 5 military districts of Russia were partially aimed at improving overall counter-battery capabilities. It's unclear whether the bloggers suggest that the Ministry of Defense plans to create 5 brigades in total. The blogger claimed that the Russian Minister of Defense intends to equip the new brigades with artillery systems Pion and Malka from Russian reserves. On September 4th, the New York Times reported that North Korean leader Kim Jong-un and Russian President Vladimir Putin would meet at the Eastern Economic Forum in Vladivostok from September 10th to 13th and would likely discuss the supply of artillery shells from North Korea to Russia. Russian sources have consistently complained about problems with Russian military counter-battery operations. So meanwhile, Russian Defense Minister Sergei Shoigu reiterated that standard rhetoric aimed at downplaying the recent Ukrainian achievements and noted the beginning of the new academic year for Russian military educational institutions during a meeting with the Russian military leadership on September 5th. Shoigu claimed that Ukrainian forces didn't achieve any of their goals in the counteroffensive. He mentioned the Zaporizhia direction, likely referring to the Robotyne area, as the most intense on the front lines, and stated that the Ukrainian forces had redeployed several brigades from their strategic reserves to this area. Also, Shoigu asserted that Russian forces had destroyed a significant number of Ukrainian personnel and military equipment during the Ukrainian counteroffensive that began. Shoigu noted that the Russian military educational institutions and curricula started the new academic year on September 1st. He also mentioned that the curriculum in Russian military educational institutions had been adapted to prepare students for the conditions they would face in combat in Ukraine. So very interesting. Meanwhile, Zelensky published another address in which he highlighted the successes of the Ukrainian army.
Бажаю здоров'я, шановні українці, українки. Завершуємо цей день в столиці вже в Києві. 2 дні Донбас, Запорізька область, 13 бойових бригад разом з генералами Сирським, Тарнавським, Соделем поспілкувалися з комбригами, з комбатами, нагородили наших воїнів. До речі, хлопці, всі шеврони додамо ось тут. Ось така у нас нова дошка для шевронів. Хай кожен гість України, з якими я говорю в кабінеті, бачить, як Україна пишається своїми людьми. Подякував бойовим медикам, нашим лікарям. Дуже важливо. Велика гордість наші воїни, які після поранень повертаються на позиції до своїх побратимів. Всі запити від воїнів будуть у вищих генералів, у урядовців, у наших міжнародників. Буде нове постачання, дуже важливо, буде нове виробництво нашої зброї. Окреслили з воїнами кілька пріоритетних позицій. Те, що треба зробити, зробимо. І завтрашній день. Сьогодні вже підготувалися, будуть події важливі для України, мають бути і рішення важливі для України.
It's also ridiculous that the Russian propagandists are saying Western countries are not just direct helpers of the Nazis, but the actual Nazis themselves. This is how propagandists reacted to the statement made by the head of the office of the pro-Russian Prime Minister of Hungary, Orban, who suggested providing Russia with security guarantees and not admitting Ukraine to NATO.
Запада должны предоставить гарантии безопасности России и не принимать Украину в НАТО. Об этом заявил Гергей Гуяш, глава канцелярии премьер-министра Венгрии. Рафинированная наивность всех, кто имел неосторожность подпасть под влияние Запада, не может не поражать. Уж если даже венгры, которые там самые здравомыслящие, полагают, что Запад в принципе может дать какие-то гарантии безопасности России. Запад не просто прямые пособники нацистов, а самые натуральные нацисты и есть. А то, что они против нас воюют пока чужими руками, так это пока. Даже географическое местоположение этих нацистов с прошлого века нисколько не изменилось. Достаточно сравнить эти две карты, чтобы не строить иллюзий. И это противостояние имеет место ровно столько, сколько существует сама Россия. Кстати, само по себе публичное обсуждение темы западных гарантий безопасности является верным признаком подготовки Западом очередного нашествия на Русь.
And it's all from me. Don't forget to like, subscribe to the channel and hit the notification bell to stay updated on all the latest news. Thank you for watching and see you next time. Bye bye.